Is February 17th, 2020, and it's almost 10 a.m. in London when I'm doing this market update. We're going to take a look at the markets as we should do at this time of the day and see what's going on. It is a bit quiet, with the exception of the Nasdaq 100, which is up with 0.5%. And then we have as well gold being down a little bit, but otherwise not too much. I think really the big mover, especially with the weekend, was crypto, so we're going to talk a bit about that. Okay, let's begin. We'll begin with the euro, and the euro continues to sort of linger around the lows from last week. And we're dealing with this massive head and shoulders. You get yourself a head, left, and a right shoulder. And we triggered that here. And the market has not really looked back since then. And as you know, the market was already going down, and the volatility up until recently has been, go down and then correct a lot. You go down, correct a lot, go down, correct a lot. So obviously when we have a break here, and remember we said sell here for this to go down to another head and shoulders target, which is here somewhere, and we will pretty much add that target. Of course, after such a slide, I'm going to say wait for a correction. But we didn't really get a correction here, and there's not too much we can do about it. There are, of course, other euro pairs where you could have sold where the risk-reward ratio is better, because the risk-reward ratio here was not very good at the time. Now, I'm going to continue to insist that we need to sell on a corrective move, because if we don't, if we sell right here, the market has just slid for some 250 points without any sort of disruption, and we could easily go up 74 pip, might even go up with 150 pip, and that's why I want to be selling here where the risk-reward ratio is slightly better. And one of the tricks, which I said for many, many years, and I continue to say this until today, is that, as you probably know, in this presentation, we cover quite a lot of markets, right? So when we have, and myself, I look at some 13 to 15 markets every day. So when we have, say, 13 markets, all right, of course, one of them is going to go back to the level where you want to buy and sell it. So if you do like that, you can keep yourself busy. But if you're married to just one currency pair, like the GBP USD, then you can easily struggle, because you might not have a good quality pattern to trade or good quality macroeconomic theme for quite some time. And you can easily just not do nothing for weeks, really. Not that it's bad with that, but if you want to be active and put your money to work, then you do need to look beyond just one market. And here is the pound versus the dollar, where the market is trading sideways between 128.70 and 132.08, and we're trading sideways. So I don't have any view here until we take out that high or take out that low. Here is the dollar versus the Japanese yen, where the trend is bullish above 109.49. And if you wanted to buy here, then it's perfectly fine to do so, because we do have a bit of support. The alternative is to take out that high here. And that's really what we need, because otherwise we're stuck in this big, big channel here. And the last very good idea was to buy down here if you had anticipated that the coronavirus would slow down, which it eventually did. If we take a look now at gold prices are within a big descending triangle with a break to the upside at 1593, probably taking you upwards. This is something I'm watching, and I'm even going to put a little alarm bell on that one, because when that goes, I think we're going to continue to trade upwards. Remember, from last summer, and even actually 2018, I said that if we take out this levels here, we would go up to 1,600 and 1,700. And we didn't take that out in 2018. Instead, we had a few bearish setups. And then here, when the market finally turned around, it went up and down. And then we took out this level here. And we're still on our way towards those targets. Crude oil prices are doing okay. Not too much of a change. So last week and the week before that, I said probably the idea with the coronavirus would have blown over. Of course, we have much more people now having the coronavirus than before. But what the market is interested in is the rate of change. So the rate of change was really high, so close to 35% per day. So if you had that number and you just sort of raise that by 31 days, we would have like millions of people having that. But then as the growth rate, or the daily growth rate, tapered off, the market bottomed out and we went upwards, because the market had already slid from the very high to the very low by some 25%. So to have another 25% slide, I guess we needed to have that significant slowdown. growth in viruses and confirmed cases. And I do think the situation in China, again from an economic point of view, continues to be slow. I think the children are supposed to be back at school on March 1st. They have an extended holiday because of the situation over there, and hopefully by then we'll be good. But now we're having people starting to go back to work, so we wanted to see how things progress. German DAX. German DAX is doing all right. So last week we said look to buy here at 13,602. So which is this level here. We got a perfect entry, and the market is upwards. If you want to book some profits here because this market struggles a bit, nothing wrong with that. And if you want to get involved, you need to have a little bit of pullback. Oh, we're going to pull all the way back to 13,635. I'm not really sure about that, but again, this is just one out of many setups. This is the S&P 500. S&P 500 last week as well, we said look to buy down here somewhere. I have now increased the buy levels up until here. We saw the levels we saw on Friday. Sorry. Yes, on Friday we saw these levels. So if we go down to 3,370, then that will be it. Let's talk a bit about Bitcoin. So we had a massive shakeout in cryptos, and in particular in the altcoins. If you look at Bitcoin by itself, it still continues to be bullish. I had a level slightly higher than this, like my trend defining level, and we slid below that. But looking at that today, you can see that that level was probably not the level we should have focused on. So I just put it back here. And if we take out this, it doesn't necessarily have to come down tumbling, but this little short-term uptrend that we've been dealing with, this one here, would probably be over, and then maybe the price is going to start to trade sideways. And Bitcoin is super important, especially for the altcoins, because when people see that Bitcoin is going upwards, people are happy to buy the altcoins. But here we had a little bit of a move and a big moves in altcoins. I'll show you that in a minute. And for now, again, in Bitcoin, I'm going to remain bullish above 9,567. So this is Ethereum, which it's not it's an altcoin, but it's not really the biggest one. But here you had a slide of some 17%. Here, if you look at this today, from a daily point of view, you know, maybe we're just going up. Maybe it's gonna be capped here, and then that's gonna be it. And we'll go upwards again, but it could be the beginning of maybe this was a high here, and then we'll just have to see. In fact, I want to wait a bit here. Some of the smaller altcoins which I was trading was EOS. Let me load. This is EOS against the dollar, and I actually traded this setup myself. So you have had this little rectangle here, and you took out the high, and then we went upwards, and then literally here on the 15th, which was Saturday, we had a massive sell-off like that, 13%. And then we did see some bullish action here, and I personally thought, okay, it was probably gonna go upwards, hopefully, and it did go up a bit, but then it started to come down tumbling, and then it went all the way down and back into the old range. And what I did here with my cryptos is that I actually sold this off with a little bit of profit. Definitely not as big as I had initially, but I sold that off. I managed to, because I was trading on the way, for example, at €8, I bought here and traded it from here to here. So this was a move of 21%. I booked that, and then I bought some more here, and then this was up with another 26%. But then here on the way down, I closed that out, because there's something what we call a mental drawdown and then actual capital drawdown. So the mental drawdown is when you yourself are not really fully comfortable with the situation, even though you follow the rules and you follow everything. And something that could be a bit annoying is when you actually have a profit and then you turn that into a loss. I definitely don't want to see that, so grab a bit of profit instead. And if I'm looking at this today, so let's load ADA versus the dollar. I'm looking at this today. You know, maybe this was it. Maybe this is it. The altcoin season is over. Maybe. you know, I do want to see what's going to happen over the next few days. I do think maybe ADA can go up a bit. And I'm just looking at ADA now, but you can look at many of the other markets, which are very similar. And we need to see if this establishes some sort of a range here, then that could potentially be bought. And if you've been looking just to buy in dips, then maybe this is something you can consider to be rebuilt and maybe attack these highs. But if this continues to look like this, then what could have happened here is that the little altcoin season that we had, with in this case ADA going up with about 147%, that could potentially be over, and this could just be a lower high, and then, you know, we're looking at some head and shoulders, and then maybe this is just the right shoulder. So it's going to be an interesting next few days, and again, if it's going to bounce, it's probably going to bounce from these levels. So we'll see what happens, but I think it's definitely time to be a little bit careful. And I think if Bitcoin goes trade below, then the altcoins are probably going to continue to trade to the downside. Okay, we're not going to take any questions today, unfortunately, because I need to rush off to a meeting. But I'll be back tomorrow around the same time here on the Investing Cube channel and on the ATFX channel. Have a great day, guys. Happy trading, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.